How you go?
Poor guy.
You guys keep sending me video suggestions, but your method of delivery is very strange.
Wait, can you please stop throwing dead birds at my house?
It wasn't me.
What do you mean? You got a bird? Ow.
So today, I'm going to make 5 of your video ideas in the hope that you'll leave me alone. Okay, the first suggestion comes from Coping Molding Truth 43 on Twitter, who wants me to make a pressure washer bidet, which sounds hilarious and will finally allow me to properly clean my ass. So I'm going to start with a cheap bidet and a cheap pressure washer. And I'm hoping I can just plug this straight into my ass. And
We're safe. Also, is there more TOS there or what? There might be more TOS in this video. Because I did a thing is very unreliable with his terms of service shit. You know what I mean? He never shows ass. His cheeks were fucking blurred. I didn't even see it. Also, I like that he's coming for Ludwig's thing. Like, he just straight up said, Ludwig, more like Hewig, am I right? We're doing a fucking pressure washing bidet for your arsehole.
it will work. But after turning on the pressure washer and seeing how strong it is,
I'm not sticking out of my ass.
I decided against that and wanted to see if I could plug the pressure washer directly into the bidet. And it didn't destroy the bidet like I thought it would. The bidet just didn't let the high pressure water through, which is actually a good thing because otherwise I would have made a hole in my foot. So I'm going to have to upgrade all these crappy plastic parts to high pressure hose. And I've never actually used a bidet before, but I've heard from others that have that they work really well and feel a bit like your own personal slave that spits water on your ass. So I'm very excited to try one. And after taking apart the bidet and having a proper look inside, I think I'm just going to have to replace everything as it's all low quality plastic. And the original bidet has two nozzles, one for normal people and the other for women. So I'm only going to make a one-hole nozzle. And I'm going to do that by just welding a pipe to this high pressure hose fitting, which will have this little plunger inside that will move out as the water pushes it and will then squirt water out of this little hole. And after giving it a quick test, it worked really well at low pressure with no water coming out of the gaps. So I turned on the pressure washer to see if it would explode.
Okay, power washer on. 3, 2.
And I've now realized I've made a big mistake. I purchased the wrong fitting and the hose is never going to properly attach. So instead of doing the right thing and just buying a new one, I tested my luck by attempting to weld the high pressure plastic hose directly to the fitting.
This is such a dumb idea.
Which actually seemed to work as I was constantly keeping the metal cool. So I tested it again.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Literally welding with bare hands? What the fuck?
And that actually worked really well. So I installed it into the bidet and sprayed the whole thing white. And I'm not going to install this on an inside toilet as I've already made enough holes in the ceiling. So I test fitted it on this chair outside and it actually feels
Wait, oh, it's censored. Ass is gonna show, but it's censored.
nice and comfortable as a normal toilet, which means it was time to use the bidet. And I'm going to test it first on this pig belly, which I've heard makes a really accurate arse substitute.
3, 2.
And that worked amazingly. The bidet managed to clean all the way through the pig belly, removing the fat and meat.
This is disgusting. There's meat everywhere.
But it still didn't cut it cleanly in half like I was hoping. So I'm going to give the bidet an easier challenge, this apple. And this would definitely clean my insides. 8 out of 10. Okay, the second suggestion comes from Ryan, or as I like to call him, Ryan. And he suggests replacing the blades on a ceiling fan with knives. And I've already replaced all my kitchen knife blades with ceiling fans, which...
Bro, we need to do an immigration ban from Australia. Straight up. I said it. You're thinking it, I'll say it. We need to do a full shutdown, okay? No more Australians coming into the country until we figure out what the hell is going on. We need to implement Aussie quotas now, I guess.
Works great. But I've never thought of doing it the other way around, so I'm excited. And the first thing I need to get is a ceiling, and then a fan. And this one was a nice cheap one, but it means I need to put it together. So I opened up the box and then got the instructions and put them in the bin. And then followed them from there. And after connecting the blue wire to the blue wire, the green wire to the green wire, and the brown to the brown, it didn't work. So I skipped using this speed controller and just borrowed a power cable. And then connected it directly to the fan, which means the fan only has one speed, on. And now that I have a fan that spins, it's machete time. So I pulled off the plastic handles, then welded a dodgy brace to the machete before attaching them to the fan. And this is already terrifying. But not as terrifying as my inability to count how many blades a fan actually has. And I now have an extra machete. If anyone wants it, it's in this bush right here. Okay, now time to strap this to my ceiling.
Bro, that shit is like neck level, by the way. Nice. Asbestos. Yo, what if one of them fucking literally, what if one of those motherfucking blades is not properly fastened, dude? Every time I watch I Did a Thing video, I turn into like a grandmother, okay? Oh my God, it's gonna fall off. It's too heavy. It's too heavy. It's too heavy. It's too heavy. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, I can't look.
It's so fast. I don't like it.
This is terrifying. It's so silent in the air, almost like the blades are so sharp that they are just cutting right through it. Let's chuck some stuff into it. And to do that, I made this little safe.
One of the wildest parts about I Did a Thing's house, like when you see it, like when you get subtle glimpses into his home, is how clean it is, because you just don't expect that. I'll just say it. Like, homie, I've seen your toes. I've seen your fingers. You know, I've opened my home to you. I just do not expect your house to be that clean.
Safety fortress. I wasn't really happy with the angle I had to throw the fruit at.
I love that he thinks that fucking wood board is gonna like stop that machete from piercing through, by the way. That's not happening. You're right. The machete will fuck him up behind that wood board.
So I repositioned my fortress right under the fan.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Clean, dude. Double? Oh, baby, a double.
And that was fun to watch while editing, but not fun while I was there. I was imagining my welds snapping and the blade flying out and shooting through my barricade at any moment.
Also, it's heavy. Like, how much can that fucking plastic hold it? You put your hand through it, it'll fucking pop off. Someone needs to show I did a thing, ballistic dummies, by the way. And by someone, I could do it. Why don't I just DM him and fucking tell him that ballistic dummies exist? Because I want to see a fucking ballistic dummy go through that thing. I can't be the only one, right?
But besides that, it did a great job of cutting through. 9 out of 10. Alright, the third idea comes from Swagger Souls on Twitter, who wants me to make mustard gas and then put it on a hot dog. And the first thing I'm going to need is some pool chlorine. Sorry, I meant the third idea is a sponsorship for PayPal Honey. Honey is the #1 shopping tool in America, but I like to think of it.
I was about to say, there's no shot. He makes mustard gas because that's illegal. Okay.
I did a thing.
I did a fucking war crime. Jackhammer pogo stick.
Alright, this comes from Zoe Possum, who wants me to get a jackhammer and put a rubber pad on the bottom and footholds on the side, creating the world's most terrifying pogo stick. And I already know this is going to scramble my brain, but I can't resist making it. And I'm also killing 2 birds with 1 stone, as Ludwig requested I also make a device that can finally help the short fellow jump high enough to dunk, which seems impossible, but I'll give it a shot. So the first thing I did was go to the local store and bought these bolt cutters. Then I waited till night and went down to the closest construction site and then borrowed this. And I didn't really have a choice of jackhammer, so I grabbed this one, which is very noisy. But luckily, I can just put on ear protection. Now at the moment, it has this sharp chisel at the bottom, which would be similar
It's so insane, bro. Oh, yeah.
to jumping in stilettos. Sexy, but not efficient. So I'm going to make a giant metal foot to increase the surface area. And for reference, I took a photo of my foot
That is a very nice foot. Thank you. Yes, it is.
and then cut out this. And then welded some extra support metal on top so it's strong enough to handle the jackhammer. Then I welded a piece of pipe on the foot so the jackhammer can slip neatly into its new shoe. And the foot is done. But now I just need somewhere to put my feet. And I don't want to permanently attach anything or weld to the jackhammer, as I actually plan to give this back to the construction site once I'm done. So I got a piece of wood and made a hole in it, and then put a clamp underneath and a heap of duct tape and kept wrapping it around until I created this horrible mess.
No.
This is not going to work.
And I fixed it. And that's done. So now I just need to turn this terrifying thing on.
Dude, he is a walking OSHA violation. I mean, literally, he's walking barefoot. Why does?
and it broke all of my welds. And I could re-weld it, but there was absolutely no jumping happening, and all it did was really hurt my wrists and ankles, which didn't even look funny on camera. 0 out of 10.
Huh.
Okay, the final suggestion comes from Hey Jack, who wants me to make solar panel glasses. And his intention here is to blind me by making me stare into the sun. Which I'm willing to do, as everyone knows there's nothing more entertaining than a blind person. Now, I could put half-transparent solar panels directly over the lens of the sunglasses, which would look more aesthetic, but would be hard to do. So instead, I'm just going to 3D print some sunglasses with mounts on top, and then use these tiny solar panels, which I just took from the roof of this tiny house, which I'll mount on top. And I figure this will actually look pretty acceptable as sunglasses, as if people are willing to wear these, which make you look like a pedophile, I'm talking to you, Andrew, these don't look bad in comparison. And you know how I just said I'm going to 3D print these glasses? I forgot that I broke my 3D printer by shooting it a couple of videos ago. So instead I used my 2D printer and just printed these out. Then I cut down this piece of PVC pipe and straightened it with a heat gun, and then heated it again so I could mold it perfectly to the shape of the sunglasses. Then I got the tiniest drill bit I'm legally allowed to own and made a hole, and then watched this video on YouTube to see where I threw away those small screws at the beginning of the video. And stuck it all together. And a quick spray paint, and it's done. So now let's say I'm standing in the sun, and I'm feeling a little too hot. Idiots would just move to the shade. But all I need to do is attach my little fan to the sunnies and then stare directly into the sun until the fan starts moving, cooling me down.
3, 2, 1. Give me that wind. Give me that wind.
It's also great for charging your phone. All I had to do was swap over to this charging port
Brilliant.
and then
Bloody
stare
brilliant.
into the sun for 2 hours to get 1% charge extra on my phone.
Okay, ready? So I'm looking down, no charge. Watch what happens when I look up. Is it doing anything? Yeah, okay, it's making the thing now. Okay. This is just torture. This is horrible.
6 out of 10. Which means Ryan is the winner with the ceiling machete fan. Ryan, please send me your full name, address, and credit card details, including the CVV, to receive your prize. Thank you so much for watching.
The drone darts one was crazy. He's nuts.